Here I am back from vacation, and boy, I'm excited to break into today's podcast theme, and it's about getting book reviews on Amazon through author review swap sites. Now, you're probably saying, Dale, I heard author review swaps aren't good. Believe it or not, some aren't good, and I'll explain the ones that aren't good, but there are some sites that actually provide a service for author review swaps so you can get more reviews on your books. Is it worth it though? I mean, gosh, there's so many services out there for getting book reviews. Should you be reading someone's book in exchange for getting your book read and reviewed? Well, we're going to discuss that in today's podcast, so make sure that you stay tuned as per usual. Hey, before we do jump into things, I think you guys know, over the past decade, I've published dozens of books ranging through a variety of topics, but it wasn't until the last few years that I started getting critical acclaim for my work as an author. In fact, this past week, during vacation, my recent book, Self-Publishing for New Authors, was nominated for a Pulitzer Prize. Yes, you did not mishear that. Pulitzer Prize. I'm so geeked up about it. I didn't even know that it was possible to get something like that if it weren't for the help of my sponsors, Book Award Pro. Book Award Pro is a service that helps authors find and win book awards and get reviews for the books. Their proprietary algorithm scans the internet for thousands of awards and reviews to match them to a book's unique qualities. Other unique perks to using Book Award Pro include automated award submissions, award tracking, story marketing, and more. Get your hands on one of my preferred book marketing tools in Book Award Pro when you visit my affiliate link at dalelinks.com/bookawardpro. Again, that's dalelinks.com/bookawardpro. Boy, we've got a chungus of an episode ahead of us here today. I try to always keep it dialed in to about 20 minutes, but we may spill over. I'm not really sure. There was a lot of research that went into today's broadcast. So let's just take it one step at a time. What is an author review swap? Now, back in the day, back in 2014, 2015, when I first broke into the business, I was told, hey, look, you need to have reviews and lots of them. In fact, I was told, like, back then, I think it was like, you need 50 reviews on your book. Yeah, it's not nearly that drastic, but having book reviews is something that's going to help you sell more books, having that social proof. So knowing that you need that social proof, okay, can I work with other authors? Well, back then it was encouraged. It's like, yeah, it's totally fine. But then I started hearing some rumblings that no, it was not fine. In fact, Amazon viewed it as a violation of their community guidelines because according to them, they don't want you posting any biased reviews. Now, they consider it biased if you have a direct one-on-one exchange with somebody. So they looked at author review swaps as being totally bad. Now, I can't say I blame them because back then there was a lot of people that were using virtual assistants to pretty much post fake reviews in exchange for you leaving a review for their book. And boy, that really sucked for me because I was reading people's full books and I was putting in these very well thought reviews, and then I get these garbage friggin' reviews coming back that were things like, I like book is great, you should get this book, I recommend this book. Like, what are you doing? So, yeah, I ended up getting snared back in June 2015, where I ended up losing my community privileges. I couldn't post any reviews. Thank goodness, years later, Amazon was like, Dale, you're a good guy. They gave me my review privileges back, and we're like, don't do it again. But in any event, yeah, author review swaps, not good. Now, this is only in context of Amazon. Whether you do author review swaps for other sites is completely up to you, because look, the guidelines that they have for Amazon doesn't apply to everywhere. I mean, not every single retailer or platform is going to abide by something like that. But by and large, since today's topic's about getting reviews on Amazon, we want to adhere to those guidelines. Now, is there a way around that issue? Yes, sorta. I mean, obviously there was, I think someone called it an author wheel review swap back in the day when like 3 people would get together and leave reviews for each other's books, but one would review like author A would review author B's book, and author B would review author C's book, and author C would review author A's book. So then there was never a direct correlation when that review exchange was going on. I wouldn't recommend it because they have some crazy algorithms over at Amazon that figure out those type of things. So I wouldn't recommend it. Now, does this specific rule about bias apply to these review swap sites? No, not really, because so far, what these review swap sites do is they make sure that when you leave a review for somebody, that specific author that you left a review for won't be able to touch your books at all. In other words, it's going to remove that bias. It was a genius idea, and whoever started this whole system, and I think it might have been Pubby that led the charge, and I'll talk about Pubby here in just a little bit, but it removes that bias. Now, the second issue a lot of people were really concerned about is that, well, okay, I am paying to get services through a site like, say, Pubby or getbooksreviewed.com or BookBlaze. Doesn't that mean I'm paying for review? And that's against community guidelines. You're correct. If you're paying for a review that's going to get posted on Amazon, that is in violation of their community guidelines. You don't want to do that. But for sites like this, you're not paying for the review, but you're paying for access to a marketplace of reviewers. Now the reviewers are compensated. They're literally reading the books just like you for no money. In fact, they're spending money to actually be on the marketplace. So there is something you can breathe a sigh of relief. You're not paying for these reviews. And to be honest, a lot of these sites don't guarantee you a specific star rating. You know, you get a 1 star, you can get a 5 star, maybe you'll get a 4 star, maybe you get a 3 star. So it's all going to be all over the board. So there's that. And, you know, of course, again, you're protected. There's no direct exchanges. So that's kind of nice that you have no direct exchange and you're not paying for the review. All right. Very good. So let's just get this one out of the way. So we're going to talk about 3 notable review swap sites. And these are ones that come on my radar on a regular basis. And I've actually gone in depth with 2 of them previously. And they're the first 2 choices. So let's just lead the charge here with choice number 1 at Pubby. Now, Pubby.co, I think, is their thing. And by the way, I've put links inside the show notes as per usual. I don't have any affiliate links at this point for any of those sites, so it's just up to you if you want to use them or not. So here's how Pubby works. You can add your book, they say, in 5 minutes or less, and you earn, you ready for this, quote unquote, snaps by doing certain actions. Like, so these snaps, you then can redeem them to get your book reviewed. So really kind of nice. Now, you do get snaps when you join. Now, I can't remember the certain number of snaps, but you can use those snaps as soon as you join their platform to pick up reviews like right away. Now, snaps are essentially the community currency on Pubby, and you need to spend snaps to request the reviews. If you don't have any snaps, you don't get any reviews. So that means you got to do a little bit of work. When you join, you receive that sign-up bonus of snaps to help you get your first reviews. Now, how do you get the snaps? You got to read other people's books. And they also had other things, like it might have been some social sharing type features. And it's been a couple of years since I had tested out Pubby's site. It was great. For the most part, it was pretty good. I just couldn't justify the expense myself, and I'll explain why later on here in the podcast, in getting Pubby. I did get a couple of good reviews just from the free service that was available to me. So that leads us into the cost for Pubby. They give a 10-day free trial. So you can always just take them for a test drive. They give you a certain amount of snaps that you can just redeem right away. So that's kind of nice. All right, take a deep breath, because here comes the ticket here. $240 annually. I know. Let me say it in easier terms here so that everybody is just like, don't feel so overwhelmed. That breaks down to about $20 per month. Okay, not bad. Not bad. You can cancel it anytime, as they mention on their site. You get unlimited reviews with no charge per review. Remember, you're just paying to have access to their marketplace, where you can reach out to other authors and authors reach out to you and all that. They also offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. And I'm going to tell you this, that when I tested out Pubby a couple of years ago, actually it's been 4 years, because I did that with Amazon reviews for books. So back then, I did their 14-day free trial, and I liked it. I got a few reviews and such. But then it came time to get the snaps, and I realized, I've got to read other people's books. Honestly, I'm very selfish on this one. I don't care about reading other people's books. I already have a freaking, a to-be-read pile that is up to the ceiling and back here inside my house, and it's just getting beyond ridiculous. So just to kind of add another thing onto here, and on top of that, when I read books, I usually try to read for pleasure, and I'm not trying to do it for business. So that's just one of my big hang-ups. So I got in probably, I don't know, about another week into the actual paid subscription. And I was like, look, I just don't like this, guys. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm just literally going to be throwing my money away because I just can't get free reviews from you guys. And I'm not willing to read other people's books. And I wasn't about ready to do social shares and things like that because it seemed a bit, I don't know, off brand if I started doing something like that. They gave me my money back. They were like, here you go, best of luck. So I will tell you firsthand experience, their 30-day money back guarantee is definitely there. Now, in their words, books averaged 3 reviews in the first 4 days. So that's kind of cool. I like the fact that they say you're going to get 3 reviews. I got 2 reviews, like 10-day trial that they did, or 10-day, or was it 14-day? I can't remember. It's 10-day. Yes, 10-day. I just said it a moment ago and forgot already. Now, with their main landing page, they've got a nice little tool just to kind of see if it works out for you, if it seems like it's a good, option. It's called a review progress plan. Just scroll down on their main landing page at pubby.co and you fill in all the details and it will tell you what you can expect when joining their platform. That's actually a unique tool and none of the other platforms have that. Now, number 2 comes getbooksreviewed.com. Now, actually, I got to meet the founder of this company, Debbie Siebert. She actually had involvement in season 1 and 2 of Book Rescue. So that was back in 2021 and 2022. And she was fantastic. She's an author herself, and she put together this website kind of as something that she really needed, as well as, other authors. So essentially, you can add your books in just a few minutes. You collect tokens, not snaps. Tokens is much easier to remember. Snaps, for whatever reason, it's harder for me to remember. And then you can cash in those tokens to get the book reviews. Now, tokens function just like the snaps do on Pubby, but you get 2,000 tokens as a sign-on bonus. Now, that seems like Greek to you, probably like Greek to me as well. So I was like, what does 2,000? Because I didn't know what Pubby was. Like, I don't remember what their snaps that they give you set up or whatever, but I just remember I got 2 reviews when I got signed into their free trial. The minimum token amount per book is going to be about 500, and I think they base it on length. So you could probably get upwards of 4 reviews with that specific token sign-on bonus. Now, just as a heads up, though, they do vet the books that come through their platform. They want to make sure that whatever books are coming through there is on the up and up. And in their words, they actually say, we do monitor every book that is submitted, and it must go through a review process, mainly to be sure that what is being submitted is consistent with what is being offered on Amazon. If anything is offensive or highly controversial, it may be rejected. If the content appears to have a large percentage of AI content, it might be rejected as well. This site was created for authors to be able to showcase their original literary work, and we reserve the right to reject any book we feel does not meet that criteria. If you are not sure if your book qualifies, feel free to contact support first to have it vetted. So, if you happen to be a person that is using AI to write your content, solely writing your content, not just assistive AI, then this platform's not for you. Debbie's she's very anti-AI according to what this is. So it is what it is. So did I see this over on Pubby and did I see it on the subsequent one? No, I think this is something unique to her platform, and kudos to her to standing her ground and, sticking by her beliefs. Now, the cost. They do have a 10-day free trial. It was almost like Debbie saw the other platform, was like, hey, I'm going to offer a 10-day free trial as well. It is $19.99 per month. Take that, Pubby. 1 cent cheaper. Or you can even get the annual plan. Yeah, that's right. You can do month to month over on Get Books Reviewed, unlike Pubby, where they're like, yeah, you got to get the annual plan. That's it. It is $180 per year, which flushes out to about $15 per month. So it is cheaper than Pubby. Not bad. You do get unlimited reviews for each book. There's no charge or fee for the book reviews, obviously. And there is also individual customized customer support. I will tell you that Debbie is the person behind the scenes, and I think she has one IT guy that helps out and addressing some of the support tickets. So you are definitely going to get taken care of. She's a stand-up gal. I really do like me some Debbie Siebert. She's fantastic. I actually interviewed her quite a while ago, I believe on the podcast, or maybe it was the main channel. You can cancel anytime with 1 click. Now, unlike Pubby, no refunds. That's it. If you don't like it, you just cancel your stuff. But unfortunately, you're going to probably have to take it on the chin if you happen to, have spent, quite a bit and like, I don't like this. So try the 10-day free trial before you start plunking down the money. Now, here's another noteworthy information here that you need to kind of take, well, not for everybody, but if you're a Christian author, she actually has another site that's exactly the same as getbooksreviewed.com. It's called christianauthorsunite.com, and it's specifically for Christian authors. So you can always take a look at that one. I left a link to that. I don't have any experience on that, but from what Debbie had told me, it's essentially the same thing, but just for Christian authors. All right, number 3 is Book Blaze. They're also formerly known as Book Bite. I actually had a support rep reach out to me a long while back, actually a couple months ago, and a couple months prior to that over on Facebook. And they were like, dude, you got to come check out Book Bite. And I'm like, this is an author review swap site. All right, I'll go ahead. It's not an author review swap site. They're like, no, it's not. Yeah. Hang in there for a second and I'll tell you why. It's still an author review swap site, despite them saying it's not. So it works essentially like all the other options. They're a bit different from the previous sites, though, because you can get reviews for ebooks and audiobooks. Now, here's the part where they claim it's not an author review swap site, but you're still reading a book in exchange for getting your book reviewed. So it's a review swap, all right? It's just not a direct author review swap. Now, this is probably where they get away with the, it's not an author review swap site, because they do have a reader plan. And I'm going to tell you about the reader plan when I go through the costs and such like that. You do have full control over who reviews your book. Unlike the other 2 platforms, I believe it's kind of a free-for-all. As soon as you put it on up there, someone go ahead and take it, and boom, they're going to go ahead and leave the review whether you like it or not. You have a full review application form that includes these questions. How many books do you read in a week? What makes you want to pick up this book for review? What is your experience with my niche? Please name a few books that you have previously reviewed in my niche. So that kind of tells you, you can go in and vet out and weed out all the undesirables. So that way you know that you're going to get the reader that you want. They offer also video reviews. That one got me kind of stopping. I was like, wait a second. Okay, you got my attention now, Book Blaze. If you should have just led with that one right there, because you give me a good video review, forget about it. I know, gosh, I had quite a few video reviews. In fact, more recently, DL Tillery actually had done, over on YouTube, had done a review of a couple of my books, and it was fantastic. I love it. I like that more than I like the Amazon reviews, because there's just so much more reach beyond Amazon when you're using something like YouTube. And since I'm a wide published author, videos are a pretty awesome way to kind of just get my reviews out there. So what they said in their words, BookBlaze is the first platform to introduce video reviews to authors and self-publishers. Video reviews add a personal touch to your book and thus are perceived by book buyers as more genuine and intimate. I can't agree more. I kind of like that. And that's really kind of got me tempted here, but let's hear out the cost here. They do have a free 14-day trial. Now, unlike Pubby or Get Books Reviewed, you can get another 4 days beyond that. It was almost like they looked at the other platforms like 10 days. Please, hold my beer here. 4 more days. Authors must meet minimum requirements for reviews on Amazon, though, first. Now, if you're not familiar, anybody that is posting a review on Amazon must spend at least $50 within 1 year, a rolling year, over on Amazon in order to leave a review. Community guidelines thing. They had put that in place to kind of just weed out the bad actors that were just posting a bunch of bad reviews, but they still found a way to kind of work around that type of thing. But at any rate, that's neither here nor there, because BookBlaze wants to make sure that you have that capability. So if you don't have reviewing capability over on Amazon, then this site probably is not for you. They do offer a refund, but you must do it within 48 hours. So be on top of it if you want to get yourself a refund. Now, they have different plans. Unlike the others, these guys have 4 very specific plans. The very first one's the starter plan, which is about $4.99 per month. Or if you get the annual plan, it's $47.99 per year, which breaks down to $3.99 per month. So you save about $1 if you do the annual plan on the starter plan. Now, keep in mind, though, this is only a reader plan. You can read and review books in your library. You can listen to and review audiobooks in your library. And you earn coins, not snaps, not tokens. You get coins for every book and audiobook you review and use them when you move to one of their other plans. So This would probably be someone who's cash strapped or is getting ready to go and launch a book relatively soon and like, okay, let me stock up on a bunch of coins. That way, when I go to launch my book, I've got plenty of coins and I can redeem them all at once. So I kind of like that. I really do. I think that it gets it to where you're not having to spend, like say over on Pubby, over on Get Books Reviewed, you're spending $20 per month. What if you don't have a book? Well, then you're sitting here spending a bunch of money. I like the fact that BookBlaze walked that back, that they offer just like an entry-level plan to where people can kind of stock up on their coins and then they could redeem them later on when they upgrade to another plan, which their next plan is called Unlimited Audiobooks. Now, the Unlimited Audiobooks plan is $19.99 per month, or it's $204 per year, which roughly is about $16.99 per month. You get to upload an unlimited number of audiobooks. You get to distribute all of your ACX codes and get your audiobooks reviewed. And you get 2,000 coins bonus when you sign up. Now, I didn't do my due diligence. My apologies on this. I'm not sure how the 2,000 coins breaks down like it did for Get Books Reviewed, but I imagine it's probably going to be somewhat the same because it seems like each of these sites are paying attention to each other. Now, the unlimited books is the next one. That is $24.99 per month or $240 per year, much like Pubby, which works out to about $19.99 per month. Now, you can upload an unlimited number of books. You get an unlimited number of book reviews. You get 2,000 coins bonus when you sign up. Last but not least, there is a hybrid of the two, unlimited books and audiobooks, which runs about $29.99 per month or $300 per year, which breaks down to $24.99 per month, where you can get both ebooks and audiobook reviews. So that's kind of nice. It's a combination of the two previous services. So if you are the type of author that has a couple of different iterations that you'd like to get out there, BookBlaze might be for you. So I kind of excited about them. I saw that and I'm like, okay, maybe. But my biggest problem is I don't want to read other people's books. Like, how about I just pay you just to give me some tokens? But all joking aside, I want to give one honorable mention. Now, the reason why I bring up this honorable mention, and I didn't include him in the list, was because I did actually get to speak to the founder of this company called Authentic Book Reviews. And I had the pleasure of meeting the founder, Flavia Kennedy. Flavia is just fantastic. We had just a great conversation about her services. They are relatively new. Big shout out to my boy author Tom McAuliffe. He actually introduced me to Flavia over there at Authentic Book Reviews. Now, here's the cool thing about this site. It's so new that they're literally just trying to load in more authors and more books. So it's absolutely free. Yeah, free, yes. Till, you're right, till 2025. So as soon as 2025 comes along, there will be a premium. So if you're looking to get free book reviews, this might be the site for you to kind of jump on it and jump on it right now. They only accept authors publishing on Amazon. If you're publishing elsewhere, they're unfortunately not going to work with you. Now, all books are accepted, except in their words, if the book's content is derogatory, offensive, or highly controversial, we reserve the right to exclude the author and his books from the program. So, understandable. It's pretty interesting to see. And in the conversation I had with Flavia, she'd actually explained that they're putting together like an author validation service because they want to make sure that authors are just using their platform and not virtual assistants that are going in there and leaving a bunch of fake reviews in order to bolster somebody else's books and such. I think that's, by the way, a scummy move if you're hiring virtual assistants to get book reviews on your book through sites like this. Now, if you happen to have them going out and reaching out and getting book reviews, that's fine. But when they're doing an exchange and they're leaving fake reviews, because let's face it, no virtual assistant sitting down and reading an entire book and leaving a review, an honest review of some sort. So yeah, if you're one of the type of people that are hiring virtual assistants, shame on you. Stand in the corner and put the dunce cap on. All right, so where's the catch? Well, there's good catch. There's no guaranteed star rating. I think that's kind of nice. I think it's great that you can go to a review site that's not just like, hey, let me pay $20 per month and I'll get nothing but 5-star reviews. Folks, don't just try to shoot for 5-star reviews. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there and tell people to give you 1-star reviews by any stretch, but you want to get as much of a profile of reviews that are going from 1, 2, 3, 4, and to 5 stars altogether. So getting that panel is always good. Don't look at a low review as something bad. It balances things out and it gets it to where a lot more people are looking at your social proof and going, huh, okay, there might be something to this book, as opposed to someone who's got like 50 5-star reviews. Really? Is it really that good? So that's a good thing that there is no guarantee of star ratings. You also get a limited like reader and author like pool. So here's the problem is because you're going to some of these sites and they're avoiding getting you contacting other authors. Well, if you start to just leverage enough of this platform, that pool starts to dry up. It's not like a lot of these authors are sticking and staying with some of these platforms. Sure, there might be some people that do it all the time, but ultimately sometimes these authors are going to grow and get out of that phase. They won't need any of those review swap systems because let's face it, who has the time to sit down and read a bunch of books that's not theirs, much less want to do something like that. So there is the limitations of readers and reviewers in those pools and such. And sometimes if you don't even have the right niches that you want to read, like for instance, you're not going to catch me reading probably too many romance books. It's just not my cup of tea. I might read some horror books. I might read some sci-fi books. I might even read some thriller books, but other niches, So the other thing is too, some of these sites fall prey to hacks where these folks will hire the VAs, as I'd mentioned, the virtual assistants to get reviews. Now, why is it a bad thing that a VA handles the reviews? Again, virtual assistants are being paid by the hour or by the project. In a lot of instances, if they're going to a review swap site, something like that, they're looking at being efficient. They want to get as many reviews as humanly possible. And so what's going to get in their way? Reading a book. They're not going to bother. They're going to go through, skim through, get a table of contents, probably look at the book description, and put together one of the most generic, bland, boring reviews that you're ever going to read. That sucks. So I'm glad to see there are some safeguards being put in place. But unfortunately, I did see a YouTuber more recently. I'm not going to go ahead and punch down on this person nor give them a shout out by any means. But they had encouraged people to do that, to leverage Pubby, to put virtual assistants on there to get those reviews. That's garbage. But I'm going to go ahead and stand back just a second. I think that it's really neat to see a platform like Authentic Book Reviews who's starting it out the right way and like looking at it and going, how can we make this the most wholesome platform for getting book reviews for authors? So I think it's really good that they're weeding out the undesirables. You got to ask yourself the question though, can my time be better spent marketing and promoting my book to get more book reviews from actual readers rather than other authors? I mean, think about it. And as you're thinking about that, I think it's kind of wild to say that one of my latest books is a Pulitzer Prize-nominated book, and I could have never made that happen without the help of Book Award Pro, my sponsors. Get your hands on one of my preferred book marketing tools and Book Award Pro when you visit my affiliate link at dalelinks.com/bookawardpro. Again, that's dalelinks.com/bookawardpro. Here are my final thoughts. Should authors leverage review swap sites for more reviews? Well, it depends on your goals and time. Now, I've said this time and again. You might see me saying like, hey, review swap sites aren't for me. It's just a personal preference. I'm not admonishing those sites. I think that they're great. I think they definitely serve a good purpose. But once you've been in this business long enough and you've built a good enough following that you can get a lot more of the reviews you need to from actual readers, it makes no sense for you to go ahead and put yourself there. But if you want to do it, that's totally up to you. Think about your goals, okay? How many reviews do you need to get? Okay? How many reviews? Typically, I recommend 15 reviews or greater. That's also mentioned this at the Amazon advertising course. I've said this time and again. 15 reviews makes you retail ready, as they would say. And so just think about the number of reviews that you need to get. Can you be able to get that without getting onto one of these review swap sites? If you can't, then maybe the review swap site might be appropriate to you. But do you have the time? And do you have enough time to read someone's book and leave a thoughtful review? If so, go for it. If not, avoid it. Like, don't go into it. Like, I know if I were to try to do this review swap thing right now, I wouldn't put my heart into it. I would probably half-ass read the book, and I would probably leave like a semi-decent paragraph-long review, but that's just me. Now, if you're a new author with no following, I recommend give it a shot. If you want more reviews and have the time to read other books in exchange for reviews on your book. Stay tuned to my main channel next month when I'll be interviewing the founder of Authentic Book Reviews on Thursday, October 17th at 5:15 p.m. Eastern Daytime. The link, of course, is inside the show notes. You can go over and visit that now and turn the bell notification on so you don't miss out on that one. It's going to be a great conversation with Flavia Kennedy. She's just fantastic, and I'm looking forward to hearing more. She's got some big news about their review site, swap site, coming here relatively soon. She wouldn't even tell me. So it's some top secret stuff, but I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. Hey, this next week, we're going to continue on this series here. We're going to be discussing more of the resources and tools out there for you. In fact, let's discuss the best email service provider for authors. Not just the best email service provider, but the best email service provider for authors. That'll be in next week's broadcast. Till later, it's been Self-Publishing with Dale, and I'll catch you next week.